This billionaire is fed up with his son. He does whatever he wants without caring for the consequences. He is a disgrace to society and a menace to everyone. So what does the billionaire do? He creates an entire village from the 1860s to teach his son the lessons of humility, sympathy and hard work. Let's see how that works out in today's movie. Son of a rich Grisha is the son of one of the richest men in Russia. He grew up in absolute comfort and ease, so he grew up to be a spoiled brat who spends a lot of time in nightclubs having casual relationships. One night after Grisha is done harassing a girl, he takes his expensive race car and goes on a joyride. A policeman stops him, so Grisha carelessly throws money at his face, but this particular policeman is not corruptible. The police arrest Grisha and put him in jail, so his father Pavel comes to bail him out. Pavel is already fed up with his son. Pavel puts Grisha out and starts yelling at him, but Grisham does not take his father seriously. He starts to smoke right in front of him. Grisha is Pavel's only child, so he cannot bear to discipline him. He can only scold, but that's not enough, so Pavel goes to meet his friend Anastasia, who is a TV producer. Anastasia takes Pavel to her friend Lev, who is a psychologist and a director of horror movies. Lev likes to experiment. Even his house is a fake construct designed to fool people. Lev completes the illusion by chopping off his own thumb, but that's also fake. Pavel tells them about Grisha's spoiled nature and they make plans to make him better. One night Grisha sees his sports car being towed away. He chases it down a road, but someone shoots him from behind with the tranquilizer. He faints immediately. The next morning Grisha wakes up in a stable. A man takes him in. Hold on to your hats, folks, because things are about to get wild. Our boy Grisha gets roughly manhandled and booted by a complete stranger who's yelling about unprepared horses. Grisha's understandably bewildered. Who is this guy? Enter Master Dmitri, the village head honcho, along with his son Alexei. They order the mysterious Abdi to whip Grisha into submission. Down on his knees, Grisha's lost in a sea of confusion, wondering how he even got there. Another stable lad, Artem, pulls him inside, but when Grisha asks for a phone to call daddy and unleash some 21st century fury, Artem's like, what now? Grisha makes a dash for it only to discover he's stuck in a 19th century village, a blast from the past. But alas, Abdi and Alexei catch him and decide that hanging is the appropriate punishment for trying to escape. Just when things are looking grim, Dimitri's daughter, Aglaya, steps in and declares that Grisha is hers. What does she have in mind? You'll have to watch to find out. Birthday, so she does not want any hangings. Grisha is spared. High above in the skies, an eagle is soaring across the sky. This bird is actually a drone. We then see that this whole thing is just another set that Anastasia and Lev have created with Pavel, all to teach Grisha humility and hard work. Everyone in the village are actually actors, and there are hidden cameras all over the place. They use microphones to tell everyone what to do, and in case something goes wrong, snipers with tranquilizers are ready to shoot Grisha. All this is possible due to Pavel's wealth. Meanwhile, Grisha has started to believe that he is time traveled to the 19th century. He is unable to sleep on the ground. He has to wake up before the sun. He has to poop in the forest. His breakfast is horrible and lack of discipline results in whippings. One day Grisha is sitting in the fields when he hears someone crying. It's Aglia. She says that she is sad because her father is trying to marry her off to a rich but an old man. Grisha does not sympathize with her. Instead, he says that this is good. The old husband will die soon and she will get all the money. One day Grisha steals the chicken because he is tired of eating vegetarian food. Only when Navdi finds out that a chicken was stolen, he brings all the stable people together. He demands to know who stole the chicken or he'll punish someone randomly. When no one speaks up after he takes Artyom, Russia does not do anything to stop him. Later, Artyom shows the whip marks to Grisha, who is terrified of it. In reality, those marks are just realistic makeup. Grisha tries to shake it off without caring for his friend. Just then a woman is getting off her horse and they accidentally see her undergarments. Grisha's perverted mind is happy at first until he realizes that the woman is wearing modern. Hold on to your hats, folks. Grisha's gone full caveman, all because of some undergarments. He's practically sniffing around Liza's dress like a bloodhound. The villagers are like, whoa there, buddy, and yank him away. Meanwhile, Pavel's fuming. His son's still a selfish, skirt-chasing disaster. He's ready to scrap the whole project. But wait. Grisha wants to apologize? Cue the producers scrambling to rewrite the script. Liza's sent in to play her part. Fast forward, it's Ivan Kupala festival time. Love is in the air, or so the legend says. Aglaya, bless her dramatic heart, tells Grisha she's about to take a swim. A permanent one, because of her impending doom-filled wedding. Talk about a plot twist. Leaves. The producers think that Grisha will go after Aglia to save her, but he is more focused on Liza. He starts telling her that he is from the future and that there are many wonderful things there. Just then Artyom comes to them saying that Agli is trying to drown herself. Grisha immediately goes after her and manages to save her. Aglia says that she does not want to live this terrible life, but still Grisha saves her and takes her to her carriage. There she tries to seduce Grisha, but Grisha manages to resist her and leaves. In the control room, the three people are confused as to why Grisha rejected this opportunity. Grisha has always been a womanizer before, but now this is different. Instead, Grisha goes to Lisa's home. Grisha asks Lisa to walk with her because this is the festival day, but Lisa says that her father is sick and she gently rejects him. The next day, Left tells Leela that Aglia is no longer Grisha's love interest. His love interest will now be Lisa, so she has to play the part. Everyone is okay with this except Alexei, because Alexei is Lisa's boyfriend in real life. Now Grisha and Lisa are spending more time together and they start bonding. One day they see a bird flying in a strange manner. Lisa knows that this is a drone, so she tries to distract Grisha. The drone has actually malfunctioned, so Anastasia tells the snipers to prepare to shoot Grisha in case anything happens, but thankfully the drone stops malfunctioning and the bird starts flying normally. Elsewhere, both Alexei and Aglia are angry. Alexei is angry because his girlfriend has to be Grisha's lover, and Aglia is angry because she got replaced as the leading love interest. Their intimacy grows and they start making love, but just then Grisha and Lisa see them. Russia is shocked because he believes that they are. Alright, buckle up, buttercups, because this is a wild ride. Aglia and Alexei, those two. Boom. Fired. The producers went ballistic. They were supposed to be siblings, people. Later, our girl Lisa is down in the dumps, so Grisha, bless his heart, whips up a candlelight dinner. Under the stars, he pops the question. Lisa's hesitant, but then bam. They're making out and the control room goes nuts. Sympathy and love, finally. Meanwhile, fired Aglia spilling tea in an interview, claiming billionaire Pavel's son is kidnapped and tortured. Russian police are on it. But Pavel's like, whoa, hold up. Public perception disaster. He orders the producers to kill the project, but... Alright, buckle up, history buffs. Lev, bless his twisted heart, realizes the investigators are slower than a herd of turtles. He whispers, Grisha, my uncultured friend, let's stage a spectacular Mongol raid before they arrive and ruin the fun. Cue the extras. Villages offer food, classic naive move. These Mongols, they're after something far more valuable, the women. Oh, one poor girl gets plucked, Papa Bear steps in. But here's the twist, a duel for her freedom. Father versus fearsome warrior. Only, these guys, they're stuntmen. This is their Tuesday. The father bravely falls, fake head roll and all. The Mongol leader, surprisingly impressed by this charade, releases the girl. But he will never rest. Now it's Lisa's turn, and she's got no champion. Artyom, smooth as ever, shoves Grisha forward. Grisha, be a hero. And Grisha, he's utterly, hilariously, stuck. Hold your horses, folks. Our supposed hero, more like a zero. He bolts, leaving Lisa hanging. But bam, Russia arrives, a knight in shining, horse armor. He's knocking Mongols left and right, sweeps Lisa up, control room explodes with joy. Cops show up, Anastasia and Left spin a movie magic tale, and they buy it hook, line, and sinker. Grisha and Lisa, off to the woods. Then, wham, a modern petrol station. Grisha's brain, officially fried. Lisa spills the beans, but kapow. Tranquilizer dart to the neck and lights out for Grisha. Okay, buckle up, buttercups. Our boy Grisha wakes up in a hospital after a 3-month coma. Can you imagine? His dad, Pavel, plays dumb about their village, adding fuel to the fire. Grisha's back to his lavish life, but it's all wrong now. The sports cars, the clubs, they're meaningless. Cue the soul-searching montage. He even gifts his fancy ride to the cop he roughed up, talk about an apology. Then, bam, he stumbles upon Aglia and Alexei, now a couple. They spill the beans about the whole fake movie set and take him to Lisa. Turns out, she's a horse trainer, not some actress. And Grisha, he lays it all on the line, confessing his true love for Lisa. Is this the real deal?